Hey guys, Tom Mobile back again with some unfortunate news. Today is the day that LG finally announced that they will be shutting down their smartphone mobile division. I know there has been rumors going on since January of 2021. It is definitely unfortunate because due to the fact that in the market, especially in the US, we have Samsung and Apple as the biggest players. It's always nice to have a third major player in there. More competition is always better overall. But LG have been suffering losses basically since 2015. So it's been 6 years at this point. At some point or another, they have to throw in the white flag, which is unfortunate. And they were never afraid to experiment with new features. So it's definitely something we're going to miss in the market as well. As you can see here with the LG Wing, this is one of the unique design phones out there. It is shaped like a T. It has a swivel design. You can kick it out similar to a Sidekick. It has a pop-up camera as well. Overall, really unique design, and it's nice to see that they're going to go out with a bang with this type of phone. It's too bad it never picked up a lot of traction. The LG G5 was one of the first phones back in the days to actually experiment with modules. They have a cool adapter that you can slap into your phone if you want like a camera adapter, a battery adapter. We have seen that evolve over the years. Right now Apple is doing something similar with the MagSafe, but LG actually attempted to started this a lot sooner. And then we have the LG V60 with the Dualscreen Case. It is definitely a very unique take on folding phones. In the last few years, some of the few folding phones that came out are around $1,500 to $2,000. So it was nice to see that LG had something to offer that was less than $1,000 to get a dual screen experience. LG decided to make a case with a second screen instead, and I thought it was a great idea. It gives you flexibility if you want to keep the case on and use the two screens, or if you just want to walk around using one screen, that's an option as well. So I do like having a lot of flexibility there with the LG V60 dual case. They also recently updated to Android 11, which was great to see, but now with their smartphone department shutting down, it's a little bit up in the air. They said they're going to provide updates overall in general, but I'm not sure how long that's going to last, so that's definitely a bummer. LG was also one of the first to experiment with smartwatches back in the day before the Apple Watch became popular. The LG G Watch R came out in 2014, and it is one of the first smartwatches I ever owned, so they definitely have a nice place in my heart. They were one of the early adapters to focus on a circular watch face compared to a lot of the square ones that we see today. LG was the first major smartphone brand to launch the wide-angle camera back in 2016, and it is still one of my favorite features in a smartphone camera today. And these days it is pretty much standard across all flagship devices, but LG was one of the first to do it back then too. They also had laser autofocus pretty early on, and they even have quad DAC on their phones as well. Some of the most recent phone like the V60 is probably the best audio phone you can get to this day. So they definitely have a lot of great features in their phones. And in addition to that, they have great warranty services. A lot of their products include at least 2 years in warranty services. And even speaking to a lot of the hardcore LG fans out there, they have all had great experiences with the warranty program. So there's definitely a lot of good things to say there. And even outside the smartphone program with their LG washing machine and everything like that, they do have good warranty services all around. So they're overall a really good company. Definitely a shame that they are no longer in the mobile business. And as I hit on earlier, they are one of the first to have a removable dual screen display as a case, so that's pretty cool. And they are one of the last major smartphone manufacturers to still include micro SD on their flagship devices. If you enjoy seeing videos like these, please take a moment to like and subscribe. Although LG will definitely be missed in the smartphone space, I do want to take this time to recognize many of the other great manufacturers that have came and gone throughout the years as well. HTC was one of the original Android manufacturers back in the days, who was really successful early on before Samsung kind of took over. And they were actually one of the first major Android manufacturers to start using premium design on the HTC One. That was one of the best looking Android devices back in the days. Back then, Android phones were typically made of plastic and they felt really cheap. So I'll give HTC a little bit of credit there for at least starting the movement early on. These days it is pretty common for all Android devices to have premium materials, but this wasn't always the case. Motorola, they were one of the early phones back then as well too, with all the Droid commercial. A lot of time you would see Apple fans call Android user Droid, but Droid was just specifically referring to the Motorola model. It does not stand for Android as a whole. So sad to see that they are no longer competing in the flagship range. They still have a lot of phones on the low-end Moto G series. They actually released a folding flip phone as well on the extreme higher end. Sony is another good honorable mention as well. They were always had the nicest designs in terms of their smartphones, even before the smartphone era. They have a lot of cool features early on. I remember walking to a T-Mobile store and seeing their phone displayed in a water tank. And this was long before water resistance was a thing. They were one of the first to adapt that, and I do remember that pretty vividly. They had some cool features such as the IR blasters in the phone. In general, it is always better to have more competitors in the market so they can experiment with new features before it become popular and then eventually make its way towards the general consumer smartphones. Earlier in the year, we saw a lot of teasers from LG in terms of their rollable phones and everything like that. It is highly unlikely that we're going to see anything at this point, since there will no longer be a mobile division. But I guess the good news is they are not planning to lay anyone off. They're just gonna reallocate all the labors to other parts of the business, which is good. But overall, losing LG is a major loss for the consumers. More competition is always better. I'm curious to see who's gonna step up and take the reign in the US. I know Xiaomi has become very popular throughout the years. They're starting to pass Huawei in a lot of their sales as well. They are mainly in China, but they are slowly expanding in other countries. Who knows if they can ever penetrate the US markets. I think they're gonna be super popular. OnePlus is also expanding as well, which is good to see. Especially in the US, they do have a good partnership with T-Mobile, and eventually if they are able to expand into other mobile carriers, I can see them continuing to grow as well. But overall, it's definitely been a good journey for LG, and do like to say thank you. Hopefully we might see a return sometimes in the far future, but who knows. Definitely appreciate all the work and all the contribution that they have made to the smartphone world. Let me know what you guys think about LG no longer being in the space. I know a lot of people are disappointed, but thank you for watching and see you guys next time.